Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Fantastic 5. This week, we're counting down the best villains to come from Image Comics. Whether it's superhero stories, high-action fantasy, mind-bending sci-fi, or personal slice of life, Image Comics has produced some of the most exciting and interesting comics of the last 25 years, and along the way, has produced some of the coolest, scariest, and meanest villains in comics. Let's start the countdown. Number 5, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Taken from Jonathan Hickman, Nick Dragotta, and Frank Martin's East of West, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse are represented as three children known as Famine, War, and Conquest. If you think it's odd that there's only three of them, that's because their brother Death has broke ranks and is actively working against them. After Death fell in love with a woman and had a child, there was a standoff with his siblings where they all perished. Now reborn as children, they work to usher in the end times with the help of acolytes of the Word and apocalyptic prophecy. Number 4, Anandhi. Taken from Kieran Gillen, Jamie McElvey, and Matthew Wilson's The Wicked and the Divine, Anandhi is an ancient being who helps the Pantheon cross over from mortal forms into divine ones. She has been involved in every recurrence since the first, and works to prepare the gods to defeat the Great Darkness. However, Anandhi's methods involve a heck of a lot of murder and sacrifice, and she has murdered a number of the current Pantheon, including Lucifer and Inanna, as well as a judge, and Persephone and Minerva's parents. She instructed Woden to build a giant machine as part of her plan, and attempted to sacrifice Minerva, but was stopped by the Pantheon. With footage of one of Anandhi's murders, the Pantheon confronted and captured her, but that wasn't good enough for Persephone, who killed the woman that killed her parents. With Anandhi gone, the Pantheon is now rudderless and possibly defenseless against the upcoming greater threat of the Great Darkness. Number 3, Coach Boss. Taken from Jason Aaron and Jason Latour's Southern Bastards, ULS Boss is the head coach of the Runnin' Rebs high school football team, the pride of Craw County, Alabama. He is the most feared and respected man in the small town, and anyone that would think to cross him usually winds up dead or permanently injured. Before he was head coach, he was a teenager with dreams of being a football star and trained with the Rebs' blind ball boy, Old Big, to learn the tactics of the game, but was shot in the leg by one of his father's enemies before he could play. Instead, Boss grew up cold and mean, but with the help of Big, he transformed the Runnin' Rebs and amassed power in the town. Eventually, Big committed suicide over his complicity in Coach Boss's actions, and without his star playmaker, the Runnin' Rebs' winning streak suffered. Threatened to be exposed as the talentless coach that he is, Coach Boss and his team resorted to violence and intimidation to keep his stronghold on the small town. Number 2, Malbolza. Taken from Todd McFarlane's Spawn, Malbolza is the most feared of Hell's rulers and arguably the number one in command. It was Malbolza that turned Al Simmons into the Hellspawn. His plan for Spawn was to lead the war against Heaven, and sent the Violator to train him in the use of his powers. However, Spawn rebelled, and thanks to the help of Cogliostro, he learned how to rebel against Malbolza. Eventually, Spawn killed Malbolza and was offered his place as the ruler of the 8th Circle of Hell, and although he declined, he did get a significant upgrade to his powers and control of the Hell Dimension. Malbolza eventually returned in the form of the Freak, and revealed that the other Lords of Hell had stripped him of his power to prevent him from becoming as strong as before. He swore vengeance not only on Spawn, but on his former allies that betrayed him following his death, and vowed to regain his former power and kill them all. And number 1, Angstrom Levy. Taken from Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley's Invincible, Angstrom Levy is a supervillain with the ability to access alternate dimensions, who attempted to download all the knowledge gained by his multiversal selves into himself. However, Invincible stopped the procedure, which caused an explosion that permanently mutated Levy. He discovered Invincible's true identity thanks to his powers, and held Mark Grayson's family hostage while forcing Invincible through a multiversal gauntlet. Eventually, Invincible was able to catch up to Levy, and they fought on a deserted planet where the hero lost control and beat the villain to death. Angstrom Levy returned, however, and used his powers to recruit an army of evil Invincibles to ravage the world, in what came to be known as the Invincible War. He managed to slip away in the aftermath, and later repented for his crimes, but was dragged away by the one surviving evil Invincible before Mark could do anything to save him. Thanks for watching this episode of Fantastic 5. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comics awesomeness.